Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump has issued a statement on the newly released emails. This is the New York Post. Trump tears into Falsey after release of early emails. Former President Donald Trump pointed to the trove of emails belonging to the expert to demand the scientists answer questions, including what he knew about how this all started, the origins. There are a lot of questions that must be answered by him. Issues pertaining to President Obama's administration. And let's just get into the politics behind all of this. You had a public and private face. Remember when Hillary Clinton had a public and private face? And the New York Times published an op-ed saying, well, it's good that there's a public and private face. Why Clinton needs to be two-faced. That was the verbatim, almost, let's see, hold on one second, really quickly. And you'll understand there's a method to the madness here. Why Clinton needs to be two-faced. Okay, so here, opinion, October 22nd, 2016. Why Hillary Clinton needs to be two-faced. Okay, this was before the 10,000 lies from Trump. This was before the Washington Post, eviscerated every word in a philosophy of language semantic course, where like a quarter of their alleged lies attributed to Trump were actually true, according to CBS Market Watch. And then another quarter was just hyperbole. Like, if they utilize the standard by which they judge Trump's, deceptive comments or misleading statements, President Obama, Biden, especially Clinton, would have had the same, if not more. But they didn't utilize that. They've actually stopped counting the misleading statements and lies from our beloved President Biden. Why? Because they said, well, there was just so many with Trump, and there's so fewer with Biden. It was such a Herculean task. The New York Times wrote an article, why Hillary Clinton needs to be two-faced, saying, yeah, it's good that she had a private and public face. The emails from the DNC, from Madam Secretary, from Hunter, and from now Falsey show that, well, in the case of this leading expert, if you did not listen to him, you were literally causing someone to lose their life in the minds of Democrats and media. If you didn't worship everything, and that's the issue here. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. That link is below in the pinned comment to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Hit subscribe. We're almost at 17,000 subscribers on that one, and we're almost at 181,000 subscribers on this channel. So hit subscribe right now. If you want to support my voice, ladies and gentlemen, my Patreon link is below in the pinned comment as well. And to my new Patreons, thank you so very, very much. You help propel this channel and my voice, and I can't thank you enough. But ladies and gentlemen, the issue is the hypocrisy and the duplicity and the disingenuous nature of political dialogue in our country. Everything was Trump's fault, even though it made no sense. You cannot, even though it was completely irrational to blame one man for an epidemic that hit a country where the reason or the origin or the possibly fabricated nature of all of this by another state, possibly, not saying that it happened, but it's a theory that we couldn't talk about, that President Trump, is just one of his many lies and deceitful statements. Well, now it's a possible theory, and we know that from the newly released emails. Falsey had one one viewpoint in his emails and another viewpoint when he was proclaiming his vast knowledge that we all needed to worship. And if you did not worship, if you did not accept categorically, you were believing in tinfoil hat theories, and you were the cause of lives being lost, even though, six of the top eight states in this country with the greatest number of lives lost are Democratic-run states, according to the New York Times yesterday, and 5 of the top 7 with the highest per capita rates, including the top 4 highest per capita rates in the country, are Democratic-run states. They had the worst outcomes categorically, without a doubt. According to the New York Times statistics, the worst aggregate outcomes, and they've sliced and diced cases with the disingenuous and deceptive intent of ignoring the fact that the vast majority of people survived a case. Trying to insinuate or allude or infer that, cases equals pushing up daisies. And that wasn't the case. That wasn't the calculus or the reality or the scenario. What's the scenario? So, when you look at the newly released emails and you look at the media reaction, the politics from Andrew Cuomo's book on leadership lessons to exalting this man, Falsey, to a point of reverence when he didn't deserve a point of... How was Trump blamed and this man wasn't? I want to know that. Trump pretty much listened to almost all of what he stated, even though in the release statement right now at the New York Post, he says, I didn't listen to a lot of what he said. But pretty much allowed, what Trump did was pretty much allow the states to do what they wanted to do. Red states did a lot better, categorically. The response, quote unquote, to all of this, can't be viewed on a national level because Democratic-run states, from New York especially, which was the epicenter on the planet, how AOC circumvents responsibility, how Schumer circumvents responsibility, Gillibrand, how de Blasio evades, culpability, responsibility in the lives lost. And Cuomo putting infected people in elderly care facilities, as did Whitmer, as did Murphy. Why is it that New York and New Jersey, and God bless the people of New York and New Jersey, have the highest per capita rates? And they're the ones, apparently, the Democrats took it the most seriously, but that was the problem. They elevate... Michael Avenatti might go to the big house for a long time. They elevated him. Stormy. Remember Eric Schneiderman? I believe that he was the Attorney General of New York? He had to resign. Juicy Smollett, Michael Cohen, they're elevating now. Literally anyone they could utilize as a foil to Trump. It never works out well. They're either eventually a convicted felon or now completely disgraced. Clinton was defeated by Trump, and Strzok was kicked out of the FBI. Nothing good happens when you go up against Trump. Nothing good. And Strzok one Democrat was so delusional, said he deserved a Purple Heart for actually getting kicked out because of such extreme bias that even the Mueller probe didn't want him. Anybody that could be used as a foil to Trump was elevated to the point of, this lofty, revered status. And now we know that his proclamations, which were which were forced upon the entire country to just accept without question. Now we know internally he did have questions and he didn't let the country know. And that's not right. And that is not right at all. And that is the height of duplicity, and that very likely caused a tremendous loss of life. Give me your it wasn't Trump. It was the response of Democrats who wanted to politicize this. That was the problem last year. And don't ever say that the pandemic caused the financial collapse. It was the response by Democrats that caused the financial collapse. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.